4P refers to the 4 pillars in traditional marketing: the product, price, promotion, and place. What I found was when counterfeits enter the market, authentic brands have incentives to upgrade their quality, hence innovate the product. As a result, their marginal costs and sunk costs increase. They have to charge a higher price to recoup those costs, as well as charge a higher price to signal a higher quality, so that consumers can differentiate counterfeits from the authentic products. In terms of the third P, which is promotion, authentic products would engage in a lot of self-enforcement activities, including informed advertisement, vertical integration of their company stores, which partly links to the last P, which is the place. So traditionally, they have products sold in a lot of the retail stores. And after they were infringed by counterfeits, they found it to be very effective to rent their own company stores and display these authentic certificates on a wall, and also collect different quality levels of their products in this one store of their own. They could garner more control of their distribution channels. And in these company stores, sometimes they would have the employees to do more informed advertisement to the consumers, teach consumers how to differentiate counterfeits from the authentic products. And in terms of the advertisement, besides what we talked about, there's also de-promotion effect for the counterfeiters. Companies like Nike and Adidas and a lot of these branded companies would have their own employees walk around the market to track down counterfeits of their own and report to the government. Then they would collaborate with the government to outlaw these counterfeit localities. So this self-enforcement sort of de-advertises or de-promotes the counterfeiters. And of course, the vertically integrated licensed stores also de-promotes counterfeiting, because counterfeiters have little incentive to imitate that strategy. Otherwise, they get identified very easily by the government. Companies also face a question of how to optimize the internal enforcement against counterfeits of their own. And the question lies in whether the benefits of tracking down all counterfeits outweighs the costs of tracking down all of them, which could be insurmountable in some cases. And my research actually helped to address some of these questions. In my new research that's forthcoming in management science, I look at the double-edged sword effect of counterfeiting. And I entitled it Counterfeiters, Foes or Friends, because in the end I found counterfeiters can be both foes and friends. The end result points to the fact that counterfeit could have a positive effect on sales of the high-end products and a negative effect for the low-end products of the same brand. And I have a theory model that tries to generalize the findings. The rationale is that when counterfeits enter, it could actually increase brand awareness. This is especially true for emerging markets where brands are starting to gain popularity, whereas consumers still don't have very much knowledge about brands, especially multinational brands. So a metric they often look at is how many people wear the brand. So the more brands they see on the street being worn, the more popularity they infer. The opposite effect is the common sense business stealing effect. You have a close substitute which copies your brand, tries to imitate your appearance and the quality, so it steals business from you. And the net effect really depends on the interplay of these two effects, countervailing effects. The fact that the high-end products are less of a substitute with counterfeit helps in the end, because the advertisement effect outweighs the substitution effect. And for the low-end products, the business stealing effect outweighs the advertisement effect, resulting in a negative effect. I am starting to look at that, although I'm aiming to collect more data. In my sample, I have some of the really, really top-notch product lines for a brand, and some of it I do see some boundaries of this advertisement effect. For instance, I did lots of stratification in grouping products of different categories, different usage type, the age of the brand. And I found that the advertisement is a lot stronger for high fashion products than the other types of products. And it's a lot stronger for brands that were young, that were not so famous at the time of infringement, than for the well-established brands. When the brand is already at the adolescence stage, then they don't really need that much help from counterfeiters. Actually, counterfeiters steal more market share from them than build a market share for them. And there's also the usage type difference. I found in my data that the advertisement effect was a lot stronger for products that were designed for younger people than for older people. So these are the boundaries we need to bear in mind. I think the different research also speak to policymakers in various dimensions in terms of enforcement. And one other surprising policy prescription might be to reduce income equality. We found that in our lab experiments in a separate study I have with another colleague, where we found when people are exposed to more income inequality in the region, so for poor people who live in a more unequal neighborhood, they actually have more desire to acquire counterfeit in order to compensate for the lack of economic resource and the feeling of powerlessness than people in the more equal neighborhood. So reducing income inequality could also help to eliminate some of the demand for counterfeits.